Good afternoon. I'm Latoya Silman. Dallas police say the South Dallas serial rape investigation is still wide open after they arrested and interviewed a man they call a person of interest. 9 women were attacked at 8 different locations over the span of 2.5 months. Police took a man into custody overnight for unrelated charges based on a tip they received. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joins us live from the police department with the very latest. Sean?
And as you said, Latoya, it was based on information given to police officers. More on that in a minute. A lot of developments this morning. Let's quickly now bring you up to date. Alan Mason was the man arrested overnight at his apartment home in Arlington without incident. He was arrested and brought here, placed in the Lew Sterrett jail on a probation violation charge. Major Jeff Cotner, Dallas Police Department, says it was information given to police officers who've been working down in South Dallas, working on this South Dallas rapist, that led them to want to speak with Alan Mason. Cotner tells us what happened after they brought him here to the police department headquarters this morning, and he explains why they made a decision to identify him as a person of interest.
Mr. Mason was transported to headquarters. He was interviewed by detectives from the Sex Assaults Unit. He fully cooperated with detectives throughout the entirety of the investigation, and he has been placed in the Lew Sterrett on the probation violation. At this time, no additional charges are pending on Mr. Mason. We had 9 victims. You know, we started this investigation a couple of days ago. We had 7 victims. Each day someone may come forward.
That part of the decision to identify this man, Alan Mason, as a person of interest because of the number of rapes continuing to increase as victims were coming forward. The police tell us they've received 52 tips, and they still need help to, in their words, find a predator. Latoya?
Well, you mentioned a little bit about why they named him and showed his picture, even though he's not considered a suspect. But have they given you any more indication of not just the number of people who are affected by this, but any other indication why they felt that was credible to go ahead and release his name and picture, even though, again, as we keep saying, he's not a suspect?
Well, they did mention that he had a connection to a car that could have possibly been similar to the car that had been identified in these particular incidents. Remember now, though, this is not the first time someone identified as a person of interest has been made public. That happens when the crimes are serious and continuing to grow, perhaps. It happens when there is concern, there's good information, or they feel they have good information, and there's concern that the person they want to speak with might attempt to leave the area. All of that was in play here, according to what's on the police Facebook page, what they've released. And so they wanted to release the man's name and picture so they could locate him to interview him. Now, before all of the events of this morning took place, there was already a DNA sample that had been recovered from one of the victims, and that was being tested. If those results are back yet, they certainly have not yet been made public.
All right, thank you so much for that, Sean, who is at the police department with that story. And you know, there's one person who really hopes that those DNA results will come in very quickly, and that's Alan Mason's grandmother. She says that her grandson is not connected to the South Dallas rapes. Now, this is Mason from a Facebook picture that you saw. Shirley Clerkley says that she was shocked when police showed up to her Mesquite apartment around midnight looking for the 29-year-old. Clerkley says that she just saw Mason yesterday and that he was not acting weird like a tipster claimed. She also says that Mason doesn't wear glasses like the rape suspect or drive a silver Honda. She does, and she says it's still parked outside of her apartment. A car similar to that was described by the rape victims.
I got a sweet grandson. He got a college education, masters and everything. Now, why would he go up and down the road raping somebody? Said 9 people.
Mason has not been named a suspect in the rape case. He is considered, as we've been saying, a person of interest. He has not been charged with anything related to the rapes. Now, our coverage continues as police have made it clear that it remains an open investigation. Anytime between newscasts, go to myfoxdfw.com for the day's developments, and live tonight starting on Fox 4 News at 5 o'clock.